Josh Guindon, Poker, SalemWitchEmD, your World Poker Tour Club WPT Ambassador. Welcome back, friends, to episode 8 of the Bank Rolex Challenge with a Twist. If you haven't checked out episode 7 of Bank Rolex Challenge with a Twist, it was an absolute banger. Stick around until the very end of this episode for updates on giveaways to live World Poker Tour events this December, less than a month away at Wynn Casino. We've given away 10 seats to live events already. Stick around to the very end of this episode to see how you can win more seats to live poker tournaments on the World Poker Tour in Las Vegas. As a doctor who worked full-time in the emergency room during the pandemic, I saw the worst of the worst through COVID. Guess what? The pandemic is over. People, however, are still feeling the effects that months, years of social isolation has caused. This is my call to action. It is time we socialize. Get out there, play live poker. This is my major push as an ambassador. Play more live poker. I have personally decided to give away many seats to live World Poker Tour events. Let's hop into a segment we premiered last episode, RunGoodRx, a doctor's prescription to poker run good. This is hard to put a title on it, but I think is important, so I wanted to discuss it. I'll call it self-belief. Many of you know my story. I played cash games for approximately 15 years. In 2022, I won a huge package on ClubWPT.com. I would encourage everyone to scan the QR code on the screen, check out my story, simply pause the video, take a picture on your phone. The link will pop up on your phone screen. This will take you to my landing page on ClubWPT.com and you can read my full story. There I was at the Venetian in Las Vegas, $5,000 buy-in, main event 2022, having previously only played a $300 buy-in tournament. I was at Cirque du Soleil with World Poker Tour legends Matt Savage, Jeremy Clemens, and Roge Smith from the Stream Team family. He gave me the most important poker advice I have ever received, something I recall frequently. He said, "Josh, you have to have the confidence to know you can compete with the pros. If you have done well on Club WPT, which you have the ability to compete in this tournament." What Roge Smith said was true. Also, now I think it's a good time to hop into the Stream Team family spotlight. Roge Smith, legend, inspiration, stand-up guy, one of the original Stream Team family streamers. He started the Stream Team family with Lynn Gilmartin, Tony Dunst, when the Stream Team family began during the COVID pandemic. Crusher player, he has won a Club WPT $10,000 tournament, just had a big score in Los Angeles at the World Series of Poker Circuit Tournament of Champions, third place for a career high score. Great dude, excellent poker player. Fortunate to have met him and called him my friend. Back to the RunGoodRx. That first $5,000 tournament, I finished 48th of 1,175. This photo was taken. I was in 8th place, 80 people left, approximately $100,000 in equity in this chip stack. We had a cooler knocking us down six-handed. We won't get into it too much, but ace king suited got knocked out by pocket aces all in pre-flop. Then we lost a flip and we were out 48th place. Not bad. Top 3% finish in my first World Poker Tour main event. So just as Denied, recent Club WPT qualifier, has done, I would ask him, what is next? What was my plan next after this top 3% finish in my first World Poker Tour event? Denied, what are you going to do next after your deep run at Bay 101? I could have been done. It was a good stop. I decided to take what Roge Smith said and push it to the next level. Self-belief. I wanted to put in work, see if I could make it on the World Poker Tour. I bought myself into the $5,000 Virgin Voyages main event. I bet on myself. You have to believe in yourself in this game. There I was, 11 players left out of 293 on the Virgin Voyages World Poker Tour main event, all in pre-flop with 11 left against Dan Sepiol, who just came off a $5+ million win. I trapped a legend. When you have a couple tables left, your goals really become magnified. How are you playing? What is your strategy? Are you trying to maximize profit? Are you going for first place? Think about your goal. Your approach will change. I decided I wanted to play for first place. Do everything I can in my gameplay to maximize my chance to become a World Poker Tour main event champion. It was limp to me in the small blind. I had 15 big blinds. Dan Sepiol on my left in the big blind had about 30 big blinds. I looked down at ace of diamonds, king of diamonds. What is the play? All in? Raise a minimum? Do you limp? I decided Dan Sepiol, who plays an aggro style, was playing especially aggressive. I decided if I limp, I will be able to get him to go all in with an incredibly wide range that I am crushing. I limped it over to Dan Sepiol, and he instantly jammed all in. Dream scenario. Like the day I first met my wife on that first date. Ace of diamonds, king of diamonds. Dan shows ace of spades, six of spades. I am about a 70% favorite. If this hand holds, I will be about third place in chips, guaranteeing myself my first final table. Very likely a six-figure score, good shot at first place, $300,000 plus dollars. Let's see a flop. 9 of spades, 8 of spades, 7 of clubs. Ooh, I'm an underdog, but it's not over. Turn is a good one. 9 of clubs. Equities are close. River, all is on the line. We're calm, self-belief. Either way, this river card will not define us. It's just the beginning. 3 of spades. We're out. Lost $100,000 plus in equity in one hand as a 70-30 favorite. We could have quit. Could have been done with poker. Another roughly $20,000 score. Self-belief. We then fired best bet, finishing 18th of 361. We will touch on the ambassadorship later and how it came to be in the next episode. This is a mental game, poker. You need humility, you need mental clarity, you need self-belief. As Roge Smith said, you need confidence. Thanks again to Roge. Cannot wait to spend more time with him soon. Feeling thankful to be able to highlight a legend. Stick around to the very end and we'll update you on the massive giveaways we have planned. 10 seats given away so far to World Poker Tour events at Wynn Las Vegas in December. Stick around so I can tell you how you can win one of multiple $1,100 Prime Championship seats up for grabs. Let's get into the hand histories. We sit down, fun session at the famous Bay 101, San Jose, California. Every one of these episodes feels like we're in a short feature film. The characters in this episode are incredible. We've got Vinny, basically a doppelganger to my co-best man at my wedding, Derek. Identical voice. Funny guy, very sharp, challenges everything, just like my friend. I asked him if he was a lawyer, which Derek is, and he said no. He called out my humming and said I have to call myself, quote, karaoke in this episode. I agreed. So anytime you hear me say karaoke, that's me for this episode. We got Big Ray, Puerto Rican man. We had some good conversations in Spanish. Fun guy. We got Obi playing to put his money on the table for his new child. He's trying to raise money for his new child. We got Sung Choi, who we will meet. Awesome guy. All right, let's get into the hand histories. Hand number 1. We've got Ace of Clubs, Queen of Hearts from the cutoff. We face a raise to $10 and we bump it up. We make it $40 from the cutoff. Our first 3-bet with Ace of Clubs, Queen of Hearts. The raiser calls and we go to a flop. $90 in the pot. Ace of Spades, Jack of Hearts, 6 of Diamonds. When it checks us, we bet $45 and one player calls. $180 to the turn, which is a 3 of Diamonds. We bet $110 and the player folds. We take it down. Interesting hand number 2 is the Ace of Diamonds, King of Spades. Record on is announced. Fun needle with my table mates. Often you can induce some less than ideal or atypical play from our opponents. So now when the straddle is on 2, 3, 5, $10 action, we make it 40. The big blind calls, so now there's $85 to the flop. For the blog, the big blind player announces. And the flop is beautiful. King of Hearts, 7 of Diamonds, 3 of Clubs. We make it 35 and the player calls. $155 to the turn, which is 7 of Clubs. He leads for $105. We think it over for a short period of time and we call. $365 to the river. which is the 2 of diamonds. It's a blank. Player bets $150. The draws miss. We have top pair, top kicker. We essentially only lose to hands like 8, 7. If we raise, we likely won't get called from worse hands with this line. Maybe king, queen, but this feels very thin. We figure he mostly has bluffs, occasional combos with involving a 7, mostly suited, rarely a king, so we snap call. We take down a $665 pot, I think much of which was induced from the comments to start the hand. Interesting hand number 3, ace of spades, ace of hearts. My wife knows the basics of poker as she has watched me play, mainly online. I have taught her the nicknames of the pocket pairs. She calls this one pocket rockets. We love numbers, arguably our greatest asset, ability to analyze the math, probabilities, putting players on ranges, seeing how they are deviating from sound fundamentals, then maximally exploiting what they are doing wrong. Pocket rockets are dealt 1 in every 221 hands. This is taken by the probability of the first card being dealt being an ace, which is 4 out of 52 cards, and the probability of the second card being an ace, which is then 3 out of 51 cards. This gives you 12 in every 2,652 chance of getting dealt pocket aces, which simplifies to exactly 1 in 221 hands you will be dealt pocket aces. When there are 2 limpers to us in middle position, we like to make it $30 pre-flop. The button calls and player from the previous hand calls $105 for the flop, 2, 2, 3 rainbow. We bet $45. The button folds and the player folds. We take down a small one with the best hand ever created, 12 in 2,652 chance of getting pocket aces. Now you know. Hand number 4, jack of hearts, 10 of hearts, 2, 3, $5 action is on. There's 1 limper. Then the low jack makes it 30. The hijack calls. We are in the cutoff and can mix between 3 betting, especially in position. General concept, when there's a player who is not playing well, either through tilt, fishy player, such as someone who is heavily intoxicated, a VIP that doesn't belong in a game, generally a good idea to keep them in. This is usually best accomplished by calling if they are already in the pot. You don't want to raise pre-flop and give them the opportunity to fold. We surmise the player from the previous hand is tilting. We have position with a hand that flops well, jack of hearts, 10 of hearts. What I have heard the pros call the nut, as jack 10 can make a straight more ways than any other hand. The suited version is particularly good for obvious reasons. We're looking to play a big one. We call, the initial limper calls, and there's $130 going to the flop, which is king of hearts, queen of clubs, 3 of diamonds. We flop open-ended. When it's checked us, we bet $70, looking to build a big pot. The initial limper calls, as does the tilting player, $340 to the turn. When we see the 9 of diamonds, bam! We turn the current nuts. Tilting player leads into us for $150. We consider flatting, but with a player behind, we have lower end part of the straight, and diamonds are working. We decide fast playing it is better, and we raise it up to $425. He flashes a king and announces he can't win this hand, which is correct, as he is likely drawing dead. We take down a nice spot. Hand number 5 is ace of spades, king of spades. We get into optimal recording position for a poker vlogger, seat 5, and we see the beautiful ace of spades, king of spades versus our new friend Sung. 2, 3, 5, $10 straddle action is on. After a couple limpers, Sung makes it $50, and we elect to 3-bet to $165. He announces, quote, "I have folded too many hands to you on the 3-bet. This is a tight fold," end quote. Very savvy player. He finished about top 1% in his first ever major tournament at the Wynn in Las Vegas. Shout out to Sung Choi. He said he folded pocket 9s. Hand number 6 is an interesting one. Queen of clubs, queen of spades. The straddle is on. We make it $110 to go from middle position. This is a 3-bet from early position opener who made it $30. They call, so there's $240 to the flop, which is king 5 for rainbow. Action on the flop is check, check. Turn is a queen of diamonds. Bam! We turn the set. We bet $110 and get a call, $460 to the river, which we bet $275. looking to make it bluffy when there's a random card on the river and we face a snap fold. And we announce 3 ladies. Hand number 7. Ace of spades, ace of diamonds. Straddle is on once again. Karaoke looks down at the best hand ever created for the second time. I guess it isn't always 1 in 221 if you are on a sun run. We are on the button. We're facing a $35 raise from the hijack. We like to make it $110 and he calls with $240 into the flop. He is about $300 behind. And the flop is queen of clubs, queen of spades, 5 of clubs. He jams his stack, $300 into the middle. And we snap call. Unlikely he has a queen. He would more likely check then jam. It is possible he has a queen for this price. With this action, we're never folding. $840 in the middle. He says, that's a bad move on my part. I say, I don't have a queen. He says, neither do I. Turn is the ace of clubs, river, 10 of clubs. We scoop a nice pot with aces full of queens. And number 8 is the king of clubs, queen of hearts. Straddle is on. Action turns on as Vinny, who has been getting bad beat after bad beat, asks, can I get a chip? We say absolutely. He wonders if the run good will wear off. We wish him luck. Karaoke raises it up to $40 after 1 limper, 1 caller, $90 to the flop, which is jack, 9, deuce, rainbow. We make it $55 and the player calls. Now there's $200 even to the turn, which is a 9. Action goes check, check. River is a king, and karaoke, that's 105, and they fold. And number 9, ooh, this is a tough one. We have 2 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, premium. And we are in the big blind. $2, $3, $5 action. Middle position makes it $20. Button calls. We call. $63 to the flop, which is favorable appearing. It's the queen of diamonds, 4 of spades, 5 of diamonds. We flop open-ended with a flush draw. We have a sneaky open-ended and a flush draw. The initial raiser makes it $20. The button player makes it $100. Both players are deep stacked. A call is fine on our part, which is what we do. Initial better calls. Raising is an option, but we have a low flush draw, low end of the straight draw against strong ranges. It is a combo draw, but it's vulnerable, so we elect to call, thinking it's a better play. And now there's $363 in the pot. Go to the turn, which is a queen of clubs. Action is check. The button player makes it $150, and we call. So now there's $663 going to the river, which is a 7 of diamonds. We hit our flush. We check it over to the button player, who makes it $550. We recognize we are against full houses a certain amount of time. However, with the queens being the higher paired, we do realize that, trips are well within their range, which we feel like we're up against quite a bit of the time. We think it over for a bit of time, and we end up calling. And we get shown pocket 5s for a full house. Karaoke loses a big one. Hand number 10, we look down at 7 of diamonds, 8 of diamonds. Interesting hand. Straddle is on. Middle position limps, button limps, small blind limps. Big blind makes it 45. Karaoke calls. Vinny calls on the button. Obi is considering a call. Big Ray announces, come along to the party. Obi says, it's just money. We have a short feature film going on. We got a cast of characters. Now there are 5 players to the flop. $225 in the middle. Flop is queen of diamonds, 9 of spades, 6 of hearts. We have open-ended with backdoor diamonds. Small blind player jams $58 into $225. Big blind folds, we call. Middle position player jams pretty quickly for $296. Vinny folds. $237 more to us. There's $402 in the middle. We have $237 to call, a pot of $869 total. We're getting the correct odds, and we call. Turn is not very good. It's a 2 of spades, but the river gives us some hope. It's a 7 of hearts. Our draw misses, but we river middle pair. The player who jammed the $296 shows pocket 5s jammed on queen 9-6. No back doors. Okay. Obi has king queen and takes down the main pot for $399. We take down the remainder $470 side pot. Action table, cast of characters, Bay 101. What a fun session. So, hand number 11, we look down at the king of spades, jack of hearts. We announce, let me record this one and see what happens. The straddle is on. We make it $65. The button calls, $138 to the flop. Heads up, first Vinny. Flop is queen of clubs, 4 of diamonds, 2 of clubs. Check, check. Jack of hearts. Check, check. And the river is the 10 of clubs. He limped the button. Could have wide ranges. And we have to go for value with second pair good kicker on this action, despite straight and flush getting there on the river. This is one of the spots that you can value bet, but if you get played back at, you can fold. We take a minute to think it over. We bet $45 and we get raised by Vinny to $110. Karaoke announces, what do you have? Clubs? Definitely don't have clubs, that's for sure. You definitely would not have limped ace king. Maybe you have a queen, but I think you would have bet. 10 seemed like he would not raise. Eventually, we decide he likely has a straight or more likely a flush, and we fold. Vinny shows the camera. He gets playful. He shows ace of clubs, 2 of clubs. After we show the jack face up, he shows the camera the nuts. Nice hand, Vinny. If you had raised pre-flop, I would have called pre-flop. Then he would likely have continuation bet his nut flush draw, and I would have folded the flop. It was a bit of an atypical play, and he gets paid a small amount. We were fortunate to make a sharp fold on the river. Fun hand. The camera gets shown the nuts, which we genuinely didn't see for a while. Didn't know that he had the nuts for quite some time. So, interesting hand number 12 is the ace of hearts, jack of clubs. Vinny is out after rivering the nuts versus karaoke. Decides to call it a day. Back to Santa Cruz in the mountains where he lives. Sounds like a beautiful spot. Maybe we'll have to come visit him one day. So the camera turns on. There's $135 in front of us pre-flop. The straddle is on. Puerto Rican Big Ray has been raising pretty wide. When he raises small to $30 pre-flop under the gun, we elect to make it $135 next to act under the gun +1. And he calls. So now there's $285 to the flop, which is 10, 9, 7, rainbow. We've got gut shot draw. We've got range advantage, nut advantage. We like to bet $105, and he calls. So now there's $495 going to the turn, which is a 5. Action goes check, check, and the river is a jack. Now there's a 1-liner, a 4-liner rather. So the action goes check, check on the river, and we win versus Big Ray's King Jack. So last interesting hand number 13. We have King of Diamonds, Jack of Hearts in the big blind. We raise to $20 pre-flop from under the gun 1. And the cutoff calls, button calls, small blind calls, and I call 5 players to the flop, $100 in the middle, which is Queen 9-3 rainbow. Initial player makes it $65, and we call $230 to the turn. 10 of hearts on the turn. Bam! We check to trap. Leading small is also okay. Maybe third pot, but we elect to check. He checks. River is a 5. We elect to check to trap once more, hoping to spring the trap, as it looks like a lot of draws miss. If he has bluffs, we want him to bet them. If he has value, we want him to bet. We check. Opponent checks. He shows Queen 9 for 2 pair. He checked on the turn and the river. Oh, wow. We show the nuts. King high, straight. Had I known the player would be scared with 2 pair, I would have fired the turn and the river. Often it's best to go for your own value, not slow play, unless you have a specific read on a player, maybe through a metagame or a known aggro player. Slow playing is almost never the answer. We get burned, missed out on a lot of value. We cash out plus $350 on the session, bringing our total through session 8 of the Bank Rolex Challenge with a twist to plus $4,470. I hope you enjoyed those interesting 13 hand histories, and we are focused on entertainment, Also, insight into the strategies that have allowed me to go on what the World Poker Tour has labeled a sun run as I begin my journey into main event poker competitions. At Josh Guindon Poker, we're aiming to give you entertainment, strategy, and giveaways. We will also feature live streams, and we have a call-in show in the works for multi-table tournament poker. I also have plans to create more bite-sized strategy videos that can help you level up your game, run deep in live poker tournaments, especially those free roll type players coming from ClubWPT and ClubWPT Gold, coming to live events hoping to compete and run deep on the World Poker Tour. Stay tuned. We're coming off our first trip to Bay 101, legendary Origin of the World Poker Tour, insane action. This is the third session from Bay 101. We have one more episode loaded in the clip. We're attempting to run up the total, get into $10,000 profit in 16 episodes or under. That way we can give away $1,100 World Poker Tour Prime Championship seats to the December Win Poker Tournament, where last year's winner pocketed over $1.1 million. We're talking life-changing money at Josh Guindon Poker. All right, let's talk about giveaways. We currently have 2 chances to win $1,100 Prime Championship seats. Let's review these, see giveaways, the rules of the challenges, and see what is next for Josh Guindon Poker. First way to win a $1,100 Prime Championship seat, likely the best way, is if we get to $10,000 or more if we reach that threshold to end the Bank Rolex Challenge with a twist. If we do this, we will be giving away a $1,100 Prime Championship seat. Additionally, if we get to 1,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, Josh Guindon Poker, before the start of the Prime Championship, we'll be giving an additional $1,100 Prime Championship seat away. To review the rules of the Bank Rolex Challenge with a twist, first of all, we can do a 4-hour session or $1,000 in profit on a session, whichever happens first. When we get to $1,000 in a session, the session will end. We completed this session, this challenge on our own last year before the ambassadorship, taking us 17 sessions at $2, $5 action, and we took the $10,000 profit. We took this and purchased our first ever Rolex. Where is Josh Guindon Poker headed next? I will be firing the $10,400 World Poker Tour World Championship at the luxurious Wynn Casino in December. We have been training all year. We will be ready. Game will be in tip-top shape. Mental game strategy, the best it ever has been. Physically, we've been putting in work to ensure we are ready to compete for multiple 12-hour days in a row. Also, personal announcement for Josh Guindon Poker, and shout out to ClubWPT Gold for what they're doing with the combined online and live tournament. Love the idea. We have a solid stack headed into day 2, December 9th, online at ClubWPTGold.com. Day 3 is live at the Wynn in Las Vegas, December 12th. Wish us luck. Well, that's a wrap for episode 8 of Bank Rolex Challenge with a twist. Let me know how you would have played some of those hands. Comment in the chat and you will get entered to win the Prime Championship seat giveaways. Make sure you follow my Instagram and X accounts for the latest on giveaways at Josh Guindon Poker. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon for the latest updates. Comment below in the comments to be entered into the giveaways. Share the videos on your social media platforms as we look to spin up the channel with plans to give away more seats to live poker events. Let's go!